Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Dan Basa and I'm the owner of Happy Plant Co. Welcome to the third episode of Happy Plant. Since we've been growing more fond of anthuriums, I thought it would be fun to share one of the ways we like to propagate them besides cuttings. And I've noticed that there is a scarcity of videos out there about planting seeds of the ripe berries, so hopefully you'll enjoy this one. But before we jump right into it, I do have to share a few facts about anthuriums, specifically Anthurium Magnificums. So mature magnificums will produce several inflorescences, and typically it will stop producing leaves to use most of its energy to make them. The inflorescence is the complete flower head of a plant, including the stems, the stalks, and the flowers. So anthuriums need the help of insects such as bees, ants, and beetles to help it to get pollinated. And the bees will only stay on the inflorescence long enough to pollinate the spadix, eat some pollen, breed, gather more pollen, and fly over to the next anthurium, and then to the other. The anthurium spadix has both male and female structures, therefore, they have two phases. The female anthesis stage, where it will extrude a clear sticky substance called a stigmatic fluid. This fluid often has a scent or even pheromones that attract specific pollinators. But indoors, we can't wait for these bees or beetles or ants to come and pollinate our plant for us. So in this case, we're its pollinators. And depending on the maturity of the plant, external factors, and so forth, the female anthesis stage will usually only last a few days. The fluid will start at the bottom of the spadix and then work its way up. After it dries up, the male stage will begin, and this is where pollen is produced, exactly where the stigmatic fluid was extruded. And in order for successful pollination to occur, we must rub the pollen on the sticky stigmatic fluid, which means you need to cryo-freeze the pollen or buy more anthuriums to catch those two phases at the same time. I personally have not tried freezing the pollen because we have so many anthuriums anyway that we actually get pollen and stigmatic fluid so often that we don't need to collect the pollen. So how do you know when it's been successfully pollinated? Well, you'll see that the spadix starts to form little grid-like patterns, and then it also starts to swell up a bit. So you'll see berries after a few months. In our case, it took 6 to 7 months for the berries to be mature enough to pop out of the spadix. So each of them is colored purple and white and will contain 1 to 3 seeds if you're lucky. So when the berries are ripe, I simply remove each seed out of the berries, wash it off very carefully to make sure that there's no fruit left, which may cause, mold to form. I just prop it on top of a fluffy aeroid mix. But you may also choose to use a sphagnum moss potting mix. So we were able to collect about 85 seeds from this one magnificum plant. And I'll say almost all of them germinated successfully, but not all, not 100%. So neither the one who plants nor the one who waters is anything, but only God who can really make things grow. So it's not really in our hands or our how much we know about plants that will make it grow, right? So I'm just thankful that we have so many plants and so much fun experiences doing projects like this, and I'm happy to share it with you. So here's the plant progress after 3 months of planting the Anthurium Magnificum's berries. So here it is, 85 individual seeds. This is just one of the trays I have. So I actually keep them in high humidity by leaving them in this tray and covering it as well. And that keeps the humidity quite high compared to the room. And I actually keep it by the window. So you have to give it the sunlight, bright sunlight it needs. I also give it not tap water, okay? Because the chlorine in the tap water actually will give it some chemical burn. You'll see that in brown or yellowing edges. But you won't see any here because I actually used tank water from our guppy tank. So thanks to the guppies for their donation. So maybe another 6 months and they should be about this tall. I'm guessing maybe 5 more leaves. Yeah.